Okay, so what I've done here is absolutely not appropriate because, well, I thought about posting it, and then I thought about what I've done and what I'm about to tell y'all, and then I realized, oh, that sounds like a thirst trap, and then I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it anyway, and then I looked at my clock and it was 9:44. So guess what we're here doing? Okay, so what happened was, okay, so instead of the band camp thing, that's how my stories mostly start. So what had happened was, there was this, actually, yeah, we'll start with that. There was this one time. See, what happened was, I had been with a boy named Levi, and I met him through the haunted houses. He's a very loved sibling of mine, adopted sibling. Good, this gives me time for a cigarette before I eat. Like, okay, so yeah, this is what we're gonna discuss. This mess that I am not gonna eat on camera. Oh my god, no. I don't have tact, but I have some couth. I don't, maybe. Can I play it like that? I'm cute enough to not be dead, yet I have proof. So anyway, what had happened was, Levi and I had been at his father's, hanging out, and he doesn't really need to be around his fucking dad, and he knows that, but, I needed a new washer and dryer, and he was living here, so guess what he needed? And his mom had an extra one, because she was getting a brand new one, so I was just like, what? My life has always kind of worked out perfect like that, too. If I need something, it pops up. I don't need a car, so guess what doesn't pop up? I got feet, I don't fucking care. I'll do what I have to do. So anyway, his mom lives in Jones, Oklahoma, or did at the time at least. And we were out in Rockwall, Texas at his dad's place. And it's Friday evening, about 6 o'clock. Mind you, I have to be at the Dallas Opera Warehouse down by Dallas Fair Park at 9 a.m. on Saturday. So, we decided come 8 p.m. that it would be a great idea, because we used to be guinea pigs for another buddy of ours that I'm not going to name. And this person would make mushy chocolates. Except it was like 2G a chocolate minimum, and it's like they knew what they were doing. So we decided, after leaving Rockwall, going to Jones, Oklahoma on Friday night, when I've got to be in Dallas at 9 a.m., we decided come 8 p.m. would be a great time to take those mushies that we had been given. So we eated our chocolates, like, while we're driving down the road. And then they started to hit, and then we got to Jones, Oklahoma, probably around 10:30, 11, and then I'm off my balls, man. I've got the washer, the stackable washers. Excuse me, bless me. The stackable washer. I've got the washer in my fucking hands. And Levi's around the back unhooking the water. And his stepdad's to my right, just chatting my fucking ear off. And I'm already tripping about getting a brand new washer and dryer, dude. Because I've had... The car I was handed was not handed to me. My brother got a car handed to him. I spent my tax money on it from Stephen Barry's when I was 17. And then I got locked up for beating the shit out of a guy with another chick at the time because he had put hands on her mom. So I got locked up for like 3 days. So I've not had things handed to me. Like my bio mom turned around and forged my signature to impound the car after offering my brother in 1988 damn Monte Carlo just to come visit her. And I bought my first phone. I bought my first car, and I was the baby of the family, and I was a little girl, so fuck you. So I'm not used to getting handed shit. So I'm already tripping about this washer sitting in my hands, and his dad's just chatting away in my ear, just talking about random happy stuff. It was cool. But he ended up giving me a bong. And I'm just like, I poked my head around the washer and I was like, Levi! And I said it just like that. Levi! And I said it like 2 or 3 times. Because I'm trying to like pretend my mushied out ass is paying attention to his goddamn dad giving me this fucking washer in my hands while I'm on mushies. So I'm holding this washer. Levi! Levi! What is my life? And he just chuckles because he knows he's watched my life long enough to know the trippiness that it is. We smoked out with his dad, loaded up the truck in the opposing order, and then left around, I don't know, midnight, 1 a.m. We came back here, dropped the washer and dryer off, and I made it to work on time at 9 a.m. And then a friend that's very dearly loved, they found out story. They got told story. I told them story. And they're like, Aiden, how are you so irresponsibly responsible? And that was just like gaping mouth. That's the best way I've ever had it put. I am irresponsibly responsible. So that's what we're doing here. I'm going to show you what would be a thirst trap if you were watching me. But what I did was, let me explain why. My guides have been forcing me, because the hurricanes are coming. They've been forcing me to start dealing with what I have access to at home. And I needed something sweet. And I also need some chocolate. So I took those chips that I made last night. I took one of the chips. And then I took the bag of sugar and started pouring it on. And then Grandma Faye said, nope, you get more. And I went, oh shit. And then I sprinkled the last little bit, because the whole thing wasn't you know how cats are with their bowls. I feel that way only about my syrups and my sugars. It has to go in every square of my waffle. And I have to do it at the table, because if you don't, it gets soggy. That's some dumb shit. So anyway, I took one of the chips I made last night, and I poured a bunch of sugar. Don't let a parent see, a real parent. Grandparents fine, but there was a layer of sugar in the bottom of this, and then no more indent, and then I put a tiny bit of molasses, like Grandma's molasses. We're talking the tip of a knife and drained off mostly. And I made light brown sugar with my white sugar. And then I took cacao powder. And then I read the box, or the thing, and it said 1 tablespoon as a serving. And I went, your boy needs chocolate. And I put more than a tablespoon. And then I used sweetened condensed milk. And I did a layer over that, and then I played with butter knives. And this is where we get to the last point of the story, where it's the most important, because if you can't make energy balls with your hands, Oh shit, this turned into a lesson. I'm an asshole. Okay, so if you can't, I carry gloves. My hands have energetic gloves on them. That was, and now it's worse, because that was when I was 19. When I was 19 years old, I had a pagan high priestess that taught me how to make, after I had picked up some books at the library. You can find that in another video about how I used to go pick up books off the shelf and just read them in the library without checking them out. What does this child have in his head? I won't let scanners near me, and even if they do, I'm not sure that it'll work. Because I'm different. I'm just different. So I learned at a very young age how to do energy balls. And then I learned about energy etiquette, because I learned later, after doing it a bunch of times, that it probably wasn't a good idea, and it certainly wasn't consensual to make tiny little energy balls on the end of your spoon and then flick them at random people and watch their reactions in restaurants at dinner with your ex-wife. So I stopped doing that. But it's fun because they can feel it. So until you learn, for those of you that can see this ball, I have no idea what my shit looks like. It doesn't matter. It does what I need it to. I don't need to see it. My intent is pure. I trust it. I know what I want. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm manifesting when I manifest it. Y'all can tell me what you see, and I will take it with a grain of salt. But now I make it like when I go to release this, I have to set it to where it disperses. Otherwise, it goes directly into something. So what I usually do is I rotate my hands upward and let it flow away on its own. And that's where we get back into the consent thing. Because to throw or toss or if you don't have an intent to direct it at a thing, then it's gonna strongly affect something. And that sounds like karma to me. See, I can feel where it is. Y'all might be able to see where it's moving and how it's moving, but I can feel it, and I can adjust my hands to keep it where I need it. But I learned how to do this big of a ball by 19. Now, it wasn't this sturdy. This feels way more sturdy than I'm used to. So if you can't do shit like that, or send little electric things, then, as I was just explaining about my snacky snack, where I was fucking with the butter knives, y'all don't need to be doing shit like that, yo. Because you don't know how to send it through your own limb. So it's like this thing I did. I was told to basically do a layout of my property, and I accidentally scribed some shit. This is my rose bush that I just like glued the fuck out of on the back, because I have a literal rose bush over there. And then I've got crepe myrtles. But this is basically my goals. And yes, I have a full ghost line border. And yes, the edges are going to tell me when somebody's fucking with my shit. And yes, I'm going to take care of it and re-glue it back down within a day. So anyway. Yes, my stepmom's vampiric. No, she's not welcome. Right here, boo-boo. So anyway. Yeah, hey, tarot reader, I'm not going to point out. Isn't that a weird shape? I'm just saying. That's a weird fucking shape. Okay? And then... Oh, right. That's where I was digging today. So anyway, I did this with my fingers. My fingers did that while I was smearing with 3 fingers and the fucking glitter paint. And these were drips of their own accord. But either way, I was able to scry this shit because I used my hands directly. And when I was done, I went, oh! Using tools! Right. Because that puts space between you and your scry material. So like when you're picking up those cards, it's perfect. Because that's the medium. So when you're painting, the brush is not the medium. So if you're using the brush, and trying to scry through the paintbrush. I saw somebody with a pendulum video yesterday or today, and I had to close it before I talked shit. That was not nice. Because she's feigning. She's feigning her abilities. So I'll deal with her at some point. But that works because I know how to use tools. Sorry, Squish. Space, please. Thank you. So if you don't know how to use your hands on your items, on your tools, or on your mediums, here, how's that? With your consensual non-consent connected to my stepmom, with her evil vampiric ass and her 5 cats at home. Took me a while, but I figured it out. She connects to cats. So if they're doing stuff, just put them, like, what she wants right now is dinner that she has on her plate. So, no, ma'am. No. But yeah, if you don't know how to use your hands, I would not suggest using a lighter. I would not suggest using divination tools such as a pendulum. You're welcome to, but you're gonna get a shit read. You're gonna misread your own stuff. It's inevitable. It's not a judgment. It's not anything like that. It's as it is. I couldn't use... Yeah, I don't own pendulums. How about that? Y'all saw me do the energy ball. For those of you that can see, by all means, comment. But I don't generally need tools. I hardly ever need candles. I hardly ever need incense. It has to be super bad. Like the video that I posted about my dogs tripping balls at my fence last night or the night before, whenever that fucking was. I needed to light something then. But generally speaking, I can energetically run them off. I can just... with my energy, and they will leave my property. So, using tools didn't start happening until recently. Carrying stones didn't start happening until recently, because I haven't been in a position that I've needed to. I've never had to study for tests. Now I think I'm going to have to study for tests. I think that about covers it. And it damn sure killed the thirst trapped of that chocolate that I am about to. Y'all have a good night.